In one verse of the Quran, Allah states the following: I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. This is one of the most important verses of the Quran. Now we are talking about the protein synthesis enzymes, or the DNA. Because as Allah says in the Quran in verse 5th of Surah At-Tariq, it's a great miracle. The creation of a human body is a miracle. We live as living beings, but meanwhile many processes that we are unaware of are taking place in our bodies. Now we are also talking about this, expounding these issues to ourselves as well as to our audience. Now I want to talk about the ribosome. Allah creates such a great system in a ribosome, and there's a great controlling system in the ribosome. They are the production factories of our human bodies. In only one cell there are a few million ribosomes. And biologists say that they are the black boxes of the human body, because that although we know that perfect structure of ribosomes, we know very little about them. Many information about them are still not known. What is the function of ribosome? The DNA, a copy of the DNA, a DNA copy is received by the ribosome, and this is used in the production of the protein. Meanwhile, the ribosome produces the protein, but it is also made up of the protein. So the DNA's code has to be transferred in its intact. While transforming these information, even one letter or one word is not omitted. All the information has to be transferred to the DNA as it is. The information is read by the ribosome, and in this way the building block of ribosome is added. Meanwhile, but all these processes have to take place very swiftly so that the protein can be synthesized. For instance, in 1 second, ribosome can add 20 amino acids. So if we think that there are so many codes, this is a really great number, and these processes take place flawlessly. As we always say, these 20 amino acids have to be side by side in an intact manner. There are about 80 ribosome proteins and 15 or 20 enzymes, more than 100 enzymes. They all have to function all together, and they have to work flawlessly. In 1,000th of a millimeter in such a space, they make life possible. And in this process, they change their shapes, and they never detach from one another. They absolutely work together. There's again the elongation factor. It is the element that initiates a certain process. And these are bonded to one another by peptide bonds. This is just a simplified version and a very minor attribute of the ribosome. But as you know, Allah creates us in a very detailed way. We have to be aware of this. Selam.